Once upon a time, CS News went to China and forgot to make videos for 3 days, but now he's finally awake, so here he is. What is up, peeps? Hope we're all doing well. Welcome back to more CS News. I am currently holding the light that is actually keeping my face shown right now. Yes, you heard it. We are here in China and we are now making our first CS News episode in a while, and I do apologize for that. As you guys know, we've been traveling as of late and the CS News has not stopped. I'm going to pull on you guys a little bit. I have not had the chance to watch too many bounty matches, so if you guys could leave me a comment right now. Do me a favor, leave a comment. What are some of the biggest moments that have happened these last couple of days? Catch me back up and let me catch you guys back up on what you've also missed out on. We've had some big headlines out there. We've also had the debut of some big names. Of course, we're coming off the back of Cologne and Spirit Take That was Zwei, a newcomer. And speaking of someone's way, maybe had some back and forth with, that's NAVI's newcomer, Makazze. And it was actually Donk who in a very recent video was talking about Makazze in his debut, and pretty much TLDR saying that he's good, he's just not experienced enough yet, and that's what we got.
Как тебе против Makazze играть на этот целок? Спасибо,
Это
Donk.
чел новый, он типа ничего сложного не делает, он никак не наебывает пока что, у него нет опыта, чтобы как-либо переигрывать, он просто делает, что он умеет, и все. Это легко играть.
Ну, на первой карте на Мираже он прямо...
Первые 4 раунда пропер, убил 3 на писике, сделал квадро в каком-то раунде просто с ковров, когда вышел, по-моему. 4 убил на пленте, все, вот все фраги. Типа там Майка еще дособрал, все, типа так получается. Так всегда, когда ты на писике 3 убиваешь, типа 3 энтри делаешь, так вообще всегда будет. Но при этом он за КТ нихуя не сделал по карте вообще. Он не сделал никакой диф за КТ, при том, что у него было типа 15 фрагов затеров. Ему не хватает опыта, чтобы ту доминацию, там, допустим, которую он залутал из ЗТ, на КТ перенести. Просто не умеет.
Because it was a long time ago, I can't even remember who actually initiated the trash talk. I believe it was actually Zwei about Makazze, but it could have been Makazze about Zwei. They do got a little beef going on, these newcomers out there that are going to do great things, I'm sure. And so it's nice to see Donk giving some compliments, but in like a stern way. You know, he's like, he's good, but he's also freaking inexperienced. That kid's got to keep up with me, because I'm 18 years old. And we will keep on seeing who's going to have the better debut. You know, Zwei going into a lineup in his first international LAN debut, winning IEM Cologne is pretty nuts. Obviously, the MVP of the entire event being Donk, what he has done. We already talked about it last video, so that we can move on from that. But can Makazze and NAVI actually keep that train rolling? Because if you remember, during that matchup, people thinking they got lucky against Mongols, and they put up a good fight as well later on. But, you know, people may be thinking that NAVI was a bit of a fluke run at Cologne, so they got to double down and see if they can prove it yet again. A team out there constantly trying to prove themselves. When we look back to an ESL roundtable with Sponge, it was one of the better interviews that they have ever put out there. It was actually with some greats. Speaking of someone like Donk, also NiKo was there, and Rops. It was an amazing round table, and it was actually NiKo who was asked about FaZe Clan, and he gave his take on the current state of FaZe and how he is putting everything on Elige. Whether or not this FaZe team can be successful, he says comes down to Elige, and then Donk lightly agrees at the end.
Are you afraid of FaZe?
I think you're always afraid of FaZe.
Okay.
Whenever you play them, you never think it's gonna be an easy game, because they can always play insane, but they can sometimes play not so well lately. But for me, I think Brocky was never an issue on the team. I think they just had to replace someone just to get something fresh in the team, so they feel a bit of new energy coming in. But I think for this lineup to work, I think a lot needs to come down to Elige, in my opinion. I think he needs to be the man that is leading them in the round. He needs to be getting entries. He needs to be trading. He needs to be the pillar of the team, in my opinion, if they want to make it work.
Okay. So I guess they gave him a lot of key positions as well, right?
They did. So I think it's just down to him to deliver, in my opinion. At least that's how I see it, like watching them. I feel like they just lack someone. Like they obviously put Frozen in Robin's role, but he's not Robin. No, like not even close. But Frozen is still playing good, but I feel like he's not the difference maker sometimes in the rounds that they play, and I just feel like Elige needs to be that guy. Like he needs to be the Elige that he was in Complexity somehow. I don't know how, but he needs to be that player.
Okay. What do you think, Donk? You nodded along?
Yeah, I agree with NiKo. Like, depends how Elige will perform.
And yeah, I think so far in this season, I don't think we've seen any different results from FaZe ever since bringing Brokey back. There's a lot of pressure for this next 6 months, and whether or not Elige will even stick it out on this roster, I think for a lot of these guys on this FaZe team, I think a lot of people out there can see a lot of names changing on this lineup if things don't go well these next 6 months, and they at least see some improvement, constantly knocking on that playoff door, semifinal door, wanting to be a top 5 team in the world as compared to what they've been the last, year, a top 15 team in the world who's just kind of been teetering around. I'd say they're a couple steps ahead of like a Team Liquid, right? Rest in peace. But yeah, FaZe is definitely on that bus of like they have a timeline. They have a timeline to get things together, and NiKo says it's on Elige's shoulders now to carry this FaZe team. Can he do it? Another guy they mentioned as well said Frozen. Maybe not that guy. I love Frozen. I think he's a character, and I think his character really showed. This recent clip that went viral from Bounty was Karrigan and Frozen back and forth on comms. I think it was Karrigan saying to buy armor, and Frozen, like, I don't know what he said in the second half, but he was people calling it a crash out, but I love Frozen, so you ain't convincing me he's crashed anything.
Buy armor, David. Nice, David.
Okay, bro, relax.
Focus on
Fuck, it was 2 seconds of the free stamp, bro.
He had
Exactly.
Pepsi, bro. He's a legend now.
2 seconds of the free stamp, bro. Buy a fucking smoker, Ronnie.
And I can't be the only one out there. When I first played this clip, I didn't read the title. I just listened, and I literally thought it was Brokey. I thought if anyone was going to have a crash out, quote unquote, I thought it was going to be a Brokey moment, because that just seemed like I think it was a few events before he was eventually benched. He had some very angry moments that were visible on team comms and on camera. So I thought it was him. And so to find out that it was Frozen, I hope that's how they talk back and forth. I know people are saying, like, some people said it was a crash out. Other people saying it's just Frozen's personality. At the end of the day, I just hope it's not like an issue. I'm going to take it as a funny moment because that's what I want it to be, and hopefully not an issue going down over at FaZe, but a decent start to Bounty for a lot of teams out there, including a team like Furia. They continue their run, and mid-series, after taking the lead against Big, we have fallen on the guitar. This is why he has fallen the legend. If I go 0-1 down and I look at halftime and this guy and the opponent's playing a guitar and it's fallen, I'm full tilting. I know the series is over. So just seeing a clip like that, golden. And then to end CS news, we got some more sad news out there, news that I don't really want to cover, but it's a sign of the times, especially for North American Counter-Strike and the older generation. I spoke to this guy a long time ago. It was an amazing interview, that being Rush. Rush, formerly a part of what I would say some of the peak times of North American Counter-Strike and CS in general. Back when I still watch almost every match, but this was when I first got into full CS, and it was around the time that Astralis was also dominating. Optic Gaming was in there, and they had a good swing of events, and Rush was a part of that. And he has now announced that he is moving on. He also acknowledged that his skill has dropped and diminished, pretty substantially over the last couple of years, and he'll be moving on from the scene. And so to see a pivotal piece like that we've seen so many guys from back in that generation leave way before Rush, and he was trying to come back, and he's been heavy into fitness, and so to see him finally hang it up, nothing but sadness. It sucks, but it was a great career to look back on, and I will always hang on to those days as some of the peak of Counter-Strike. So wishing Rush nothing but the best in his future endeavors. He is officially retired from Counter-Strike. NA, day by day, we take more frickin' hits. And the last one out there for you guys, Heroic now also making changes. Now they are coming off the back of some results that are probably lackluster, but also a Heroic roster that has kept making changes and continues to do so. So we'll see if this member is going anywhere else and will be bought out. That's going to be Grix. Yes, young man himself, who was brought to this team as one of the heavy up-and-comers and supposed to be maybe the future of this lineup. He has now announced that he is no longer with the roster, and people are a bit not suspicious, but questioning what this is. Him talking about the play style and the opera that he wanted to be in this team and just not aligning on those values. And so people are like, what ideals did you guys talk about before you signed to this roster? How did that change after that discussion? And so apparently he is not the right fit for the Heroic roster and will be benched, and we'll see if any team does pursue him for the future, because certainly has potential, just didn't last too long in Heroic. And I also on this day I realized how rude some Furia or Brazilian fans can be, because half the comments are just saying thank you for not coming to Furia, obviously because they got Molodoy and he's like the godsend future. He's been having a great run himself, but like, why do you need to why say that? Like, this dude just got benched. He's still got a long career ahead. The first thing you say is thank God you didn't come to my team. Maybe I'm just like not on enough caffeine. I just can't imagine ever being like that bitter. Just say GG's and hope and wish them the best of luck. Best of luck, Grix and Heroic. I don't know what the frick they're doing over there, but I mean they've had it figured out several times, so I do trust them when it comes to a rebuild. But yeah, Heroic is a bit of a question mark as of late. And I know, guys, this is so jank. Like, look, I'm holding, this is, I know it's jank. I do apologize for that. I can't wait to be home back in the office, but I wanted to catch you guys up on some CS news. I'm hoping to do at least one more video from here. And for anyone who does care, appreciate you guys. Appreciate all you guys subbing and leaving comments. I am in China, so it's been pretty wicked. We're here for a Marvel Rivals event. We're not being paid or anything, so we're trying to break even, and we're talking to devs, and the team over here has been incredible. They've been so kind and accommodating. Obviously, they put us up in the hotel, so it's been really nice. And I've been playing RuneScape, grinding interviews, and now making some CS videos. So for all of you guys who do care about the way we travel and stuff, thank you for watching all of our stuff. It's been very tiring to be on the road so much, and we're not done yet. We're going to Germany next week. So for all of you real fans out there who sometimes just enjoy listening to me yap and maybe watch some of our other esports content, I just wanted to quickly say thank you. I know the CS news has dropped off a bit in terms of breaking news. I'm trying my best. I promise you guys that. And I can't wait to get back to that towards the end of this year when I'm going to be home, you know? So thank you all for watching. Please take care of yourselves, and we'll see you back here soon. Yarr.